Hello again, everyone, and in this video we're going to basically finalize our scene here. We're going to set up a camera that's going to be kind of in this frame, this field of view here, for our scene. We'll plot all of these animations down to the skeletons so that they'll be the raw animations on the skeletons. And then what we'll do is we'll add some audio and then render out the final scene. So to get started, let's see here. We've got some audio that we want to add to this thing, and you can add audio inside of Motion Builder, and you can actually mix it pretty effectively inside of Motion Builder too. So I've got some audio files that I have in here. They're both WAV files. Now, just a caveat for this particular tutorial. Motion Builder does have the ability to handle MP3 files, but you need to have QuickTime installed, and Apple hasn't been supporting QuickTime in a while, and I haven't been able to get the drivers installed properly on my computer to be able to load MP3s into my Motion Builder projects. So if you try to bring MP3s into your Motion Builder projects, you might get some sort of error saying that the QuickTime libraries aren't installed. My suggestion is to just avoid MP3s altogether and use WAV files. You'll get better audio format and it won't be as compressed, and you won't be getting those errors. So if you do a quick Google search for a MP3 to WAV file converter, you'll find some out there, or you can use some other software like Audacity or some other audio editing software like Adobe Audition or something like that. But anyway, to add audio, and I've got a couple of files that are already pre-set up here. We got a background music file, and we've also got this punch sound effect that we're going to sync up using the story mode. So to do that, you're going to right-click in this top area here and go to Insert Audio Track. And once you insert an audio track, you're able to add audio to your scene. So I'm going to add this background music to it. So I'll add Jungle Run here. And now if we hit the play button, we should be hearing that music here. So really I just wanted that Congo, like that, not the Congo drums as the starting point of the clip here. And you can even cut up the audio as well. So if I go to the end frame here, which was frame 74, I believe. So I'll step it back a bit. We can actually use the razor blade and cut the audio there. So I'll go to the razor blade, cut the audio, and then delete out the second half of the audio here. So I'm going to end my set my end frame here to 74, and if I have this set to loop, we can see that we got the loop set up, and you can scrub through and hear the audio while you're scrubbing as well. Pretty cool. Now, what about sound effects? You can actually layer multiple tracks in this software. So if I right-click and go to Insert Audio Track, I could then drag in a sound effect. So I got this punch sound effect that I'm going to layer in here. And we can drag it along the story mode to figure out where we want that audio to happen. So I'm guessing it'll be right where the contact gets made. And I'm just going to mute the music for now so we can hear this. I think it comes in a little late, probably because of the timing of the audio clip. So what I'll do is I'll scrub through the timeline to the particular frame that I'm at, and then just nudge it forward a little bit. And if you need to zoom in, you can always drag the magnifying glass here to zoom into the clip, and I'll move it forward to where the waveform starts to begin. Rewind it and play. Nice. Alright, so I think the timing is pretty good on that audio. So I'll turn the background audio back on. Now, what if we want to turn down some of the audio? What if we want to adjust the levels a bit? You could do that as well in Motion Builder. So if I go over to the Properties panel and select the audio here, down here at the bottom, you'll see it says punch or whack, which is the audio file that I have here, and we have this volume set up here. We can also adjust when the in and out happens from here parametrically, which is great. And you can also adjust the speed, which is really helpful too if you're having some timing issues with the audio. But what I want to do is I want to turn down the background volume again. So I'm going to set this to -4 maybe. Let's see if that plays. So that lowers the audio a bit, and maybe -10 would be a bit better. Alright, and that's how you can edit basically your audio within there, your audio levels. The other thing you can do too is if you double click on an audio clip, it comes up in this asset settings here, and there's all sorts of stuff that you can change in here too, but not the actual volume. Okay, and you can also play it. Oh, never mind. You can actually play it if you analyze it and stuff first, but I'm not going to bother to do that here. And that's in these asset settings, which I just docked, which I don't want to dock it. Alright, so I'm just going to close that panel. I like having it as a pop-up window that kind of floats over. But anyway, those are kind of what you can do working with the audio now. Alright, so both these guys have control rigs on them. So what we want to do is plot both of them back to the skeleton. So I'll select the alien and go to plot to skeleton, plot him back, and I'll go to the exo, and I'll go to plot to skeleton. And now if we look here, there's our animation. And if I go to the other takes here, like if I go to block, you'll see we're back to where we were earlier. If I go to punch, same thing. If I go back to fight flip, we're back to a finalized fight scene. Okay. So the last thing I want to do here is set up a camera. So what we'll do here is we'll go to File, View, Perspective, and then Create Camera. And I'll jump into the navigator and open up my cameras area here. And I'm going to rename this camera Production Camera. Alright, well, no, we'll call it Fight Clip Camera. So we got Fight Clip Camera set up here. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to set up a couple things here. We're going to go to Viewer Layout, and we'll do 2 panes. I'll select the one that says Producer Front here, and I'm going to change this one to Producer Perspective, and this one here, I'll select this one and change this one to be our camera. Fight Clip Camera. There we go. And what we should be able to do now here is adjust the camera, and it'll do this in real time. And if I scrub through, so our animation technically starts around frame 10. So I want to get a nice little view in here with our camera. Let's see where it connects with the fist here. Alright, perfect. So what I'll do is I'm going to change the start time of this to 10, and let's play our clip back. Beautiful. Now, no animation is ever fully complete or done. Of course, there's things that we could edit and tweak. We could add more composition scenes in here, but this is just to kind of define the workflow of how to work with multiple characters. You know, you want to make sure you have different versions of those files saved out. how to work with audio, how to set up your cameras. You might have multiple camera clips. Make sure you use the camera switcher if you're cutting between different cameras and so forth. But this is basically how you would compose a scene with multiple subjects. From here, I would start importing environment assets and get ready to kind of set up our final render here. So what we want to do now is set this up for the renders. So in our fight clip camera, select your fight clip camera here. And what we want to do is we want to shut off the grid so that we don't see the grid inside of the scene. It's simple as that. And let's get ready to render this thing. So we're going to go up to File, and we're going to go to Render. And what we want to do is we want to set up, whoa, I didn't want that to happen. Want to set up our render. I guess I'll add it here. I'll dock it for now. And we want to set up our render output here. So what we could do is set up where our file is. I guess I'll set this up in the Week8 Lab folder. And we're going to want to check off audio enabled because we do have audio inside of this file that we want to render. The picture format we could do from camera, or you could do it as a specific resolution. I think what I'll do here is just 640 by 480 for now. And we'll do an off-screen render. Microsoft Video, and I'll set this to 50% quality. And hit OK. Let it do its thing. Says the scene has been successfully rendered. And we'll check out that video. And there it is. Our final video rendered out. So, I hope you found this video lab useful and informative on Motion Builder and starting to set up more complicated scenes other than just like straightforward character animations for games and that sort of thing. And notice how we worried about the things that were in the shot primarily. Like we didn't like look at things like their feet or their positioning or their hips because we were worried mainly about what was going on in the camera view. I think it turned out pretty good. So it's just a short clip, and hopefully that's helpful, and I'll see you next time.